Yo, 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 what it do? Cheeky crew. Hey guys, listen, today, this video is a fun one. We're going to be matchmaking every fighter from the UFC 315 main card, plus all the winners from the prelims and early prelims. So, let's just jump straight into this one with the main card, the title fight, the headliner. So we're going to start it off with the winner, Jack Della Maddalena. And who do I think he should fight next? I personally think he should fight Islam Makhachev. And I'm going to be very honest with this one. I think he schools Islam. I think he's a worse matchup for Islam than Ilya is. Yeah, sure, he doesn't have the same KO power, but he's bigger. He's badder. He's more tested in the grappling. His weakness is conventional grappling, which Islam is not as strong as Belal is. And he has cleaner boxing than Ilya, in my opinion. Ilya has very good boxing, but it's pressure boxing. He's coming at you. He will get outstruck. He will get pieced up by your kicks a little, but he will get that KO shot, right? While Jack Della Maddalena, he's more likely to be able to win that decision. He will be piecing you up all fight. You may be able to outstrike him. He gets outstruck quite a bit. We saw Belal outstrike him. We saw Kevin Holland outstrike him. But the thing with Jack Della Maddalena is while you can outstrike him, every single shot he lands will be worth 3 of yours because it's so precise, because it's so clean, because it's so perfect. It just lands accurately. You look at Belal's face, you look at his face. They had near equal significant strikes. You tell me who looked absolutely brutalized and who landed the cleaner strikes and who had more power. It's all JDM. And I think he will just school Islam Makhachev. And after he beats Islam, Islam will either retire or he'll be sent back down to 155 where he will get chinned by Ilya, I believe. Sort of like a Volk sort of thing. And if he gets chinned by Ilya, I don't think he has the same courage as Volk did. I really don't. I think he will retire there if he gets chinned by Ilya, if he loses that lightweight belt as well. That's my honest take. Maybe he'd fight Arman, but I doubt it. I really... Sorry for that. But anyways, yeah. Now on to the next fight. We have the loser of our main event, Belal Muhammad. Who do I think Belal should fight? I think this one's pretty clear personally. I think Belal Muhammad should fight the winner of Usman versus Buckley. Hell fucking yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with this. Part of this matchup I'm making is because I'm sort of scared for Buckley here. Like, I'm a huge Buckley fan. I'm the #1 Buckley fan on MMA YouTube. We'll put it like that. He's my favorite fighter of all time. Nobody comes close. I watch everything he puts out. He has the best self-promotion in the UFC. Better than Conor. I'm sorry. You don't see Conor making full-on fucking ads. Hitman ads for himself. You see Buckley doing that. And the production quality on those is beautiful. But anyways... when Buckley beats Usman, when we KO Usman in the second, I think he will be deserving of the title shot, but I don't think he'll be the most deserving. Like, I think a Brady would be more deserving. I think an Islam Makhachev would obviously be more deserving. So I would like to see him stay active because I think he'll KO Usman pretty easily, won't sustain a lot of damage. I want to see him fight Belal Muhammad next. Because, stay with me now. Because I think that's a very dangerous matchup for both guys. Belal could grind him out, or alternatively, Buckley could destroy him on the feet, and it really depends on who's the better guy on that night. And if Buckley wins that, I will be confident in him. I will be very confident in him to be the next welterweight champion. But I feel like with how good Jack Della Maddalena is, Buckley will need that one more fight after Usman if he wants to win. He will need that to be ready. You know what I mean? Anyways, for the title fight, the co-main event, the flyweight title fight, fucking Shevchenko, Manon Fiorot. We'll start with the winner, Valentina Shevchenko. I think she should fight Natalia Silva. I think that's a simple matchup. It's a clear matchup. I think she'll lose her belt to Natalia Silva. She doesn't have a good shelf life anymore. She was getting clinched up by Manon Fiorot and just easily out physicality, you know? And Manon Fiorot was destroying her with those Muay Thai knees as well. You put her against a much cleaner striker in Natalia Silva, who just dominated Alexa Grasso very clearly. It won't even be close, in my opinion. And on top of that, Natalia Silva, she's the number one contender. She just beat Alexa Grasso more dominantly than Shevchenko did. So I just think that fight is very clear. It's very easy. It's on the same schedule because they just both fought on the same card. It's a great fight to make. It makes the most sense. It's a perfect fight. But anyways, I have something special for the loser of the co-main event, Manon Fiorot. I think she looked big in that cage. I really do. I think she looked far bigger than Valentina Shevchenko, who isn't a small flyweight. And I think with her skills, I think Manon Fiorot should move up to bantamweight and fight Ketlin Vieira. Because if you look at 125, who can Manon Fiorot fight? Macy Barber? If Macy Barber beats Erin Blanchfield, maybe. But who else is there? Natalia Silva? Natalia Silva just beat Valentina Shevchenko. Sorry, just beat Alexa Grasso's ass, right? Alexa Grasso, I feel like I have a better one for her personally. It's like there's nothing for Manon Fiorot there. I think she should move up and fight Ketlin Vieira, number 3 bantamweight contender. If she beats her, she will probably get the winner of Harrison and fucking Pena. It'd be a great fight. Anyways, for our featured fight, we'll start with the real winner. I'm coping. He's not actually the real winner. But Aldo. I think Aldo, if he retires, if he did retire, if he stays retired, I mean, good for him. That was a great fight to retire on. It was very close, so legacy-wise, people can say, oh, he technically retired on a 3-fight win streak. It's just 2 of those wins were losses because he got robbed horribly or something. Like, it was a fun fight as well. In Canada, where he had his first UFC fight, it makes sense for him to have had his last. It's a beautiful thing, really. But if he decides to come back, he did say he would want to fight at featherweight. And I think, in that case, we gotta do Aldo versus Barbozi. That is a striker's phenomenal matchup. That is a beautiful matchup. That is a once-in-a-lifetime matchup. I am sorry. I would kill to see this matchup. It is beautiful. Imagine the striking. Imagine the finishes. I think that fight would end in a KO no matter what, and it would be ecstatic. But that's if Aldo decides to come back for one more win. And I do think he would win that. Now, for the loser or winner, depends on how you scored that fight. I thought Aldo won in the moment, but looking back, I do think Zahabi, Faraz Zahabi, Ayman Zahabi, what monsters these guys are. I think Zahabi is a good up-and-comer. He's not like a prospect, a young prospect or anything, but he hasn't taken a lot of damage. If you look at his record, he spent a lot of his early UFC years helping his brother with the coaching. He never took a lot of damage, which is the main thing that causes a fighter to fall off. If you look at guys like Bernard Hopkins in boxing, they never took a lot of damage. That's why they never fell off. They were defensively sound. George Foreman, he wasn't defensively sound, but he was finishing his fights so quickly that it was hard for him to fall off, and he was at a heavier weight class, which helps. But yeah, it's mainly the damage that causes fighters to fall off, which is why Zahabi actually isn't that bad of an up-and-comer. But either way, I do think he won. It was a very close fight. It was a very fun fight, I think, for that fight. He's earned that Cejudo fight for sure, man. Cejudo, he's on a 3-fight loss streak. And he just should really be fighting way down to like number 11 we're talking about here. And that's where Zahabi will be. It will be a fun fight. It won't be like, oh, let's give Cejudo to Bautista or any of that bullshit where they just want to like feed their old vets to the same guy. No. Give Cejudo to Zahabi. It's a winnable fight for Cejudo. It's a very winnable fight for Zahabi. And I just like that matchup. It's a fun matchup. It's an interesting matchup. Cejudo has that sort of brawly short man style, and it would be really interesting to see how that matches up against like a gritty Bilal Muhammad striking style that Zahabi has, you know? But anyways, for Alexa Grasso, because I already made Natalia Silva's matchup, we're gonna do Grasso versus Jasuda Vicious. Beautiful fight right there. Grappler's delight, in my opinion. No, it'd be a boring 29-28 decision. I'm sorry. But it'd be interesting. It's like interesting on paper. Winner might get into the title picture. We'll see. If Jasmine Jasuda Vicious wins that, she's definitely getting into the title picture. So it's a good matchup. After that, for our main card opener, Benoit Saint-Denis. What do y'all think he's getting? I think he's getting Mateusz Rebecki. He called out Mateusz Gamrot. That's the wrong Mateusz to call out. Mateusz Rebecki is an absolute fucking phenom. He's so strong and so small and so stocky. It's beautiful. He gave Mai Tabek-Orobai a real tough run for his money and won that fight clearly, in my opinion. It would be a great matchup. It'd be a fun matchup. And if BSD can survive the first 1.5 rounds and Mateusz Rebecki starts gassing out because of his TRT frame here, I think BSD could win that. And if Mateusz Rebecki finishes BSD in the first 2 rounds, he's 100% deserving of that ranking spot. So either way, it's a really intriguing matchup for me, personally. As for the loser of that mid-card opener, Calip Peporic or whatever, fucking prenup, I think he's low level, but he was catching BSD, but who wouldn't catch BSD? Anshul Jubilee would catch BSD. And that's why I'm making Kyle Preponic versus Anshul Jubilee. Loser gets cut. We can see if India or Canada can get a win in MMA, which is very hard for both nations to do. I think that's a really intriguing matchup. I think it's a fun matchup. It's an absolute lovely bumweight matchup. Absolutely gonna end in a finish, a bullshit finish, and it's gonna be funny as fuck either way. It's fucking do not redeem, sir, versus the fucking Thank you. Kyle Preponic, that fucking Canadian bum-ass motherfucker. Anyways, time for the prelims. So for the winner of our prelim closer, we've got Mike Malott. Now, Mike Malott used to be a pretty hyped prospect because of all his finishes, and he's gained some momentum back with his 2-fight win streak, one of those excellent KO over Charles Radke last night. So, I think it's time we gave him that one more step to the rankings before a ranked fight. And I think we should match him up against another huge prospect who lost a lot of hype recently. I think we should do Mike Malott versus Brian Battle. Tell me this is not a fucking banger. Tell me this is not straight heat. Tell me this is not excellent. You've got 2 finishers. You've got the evolved Charles Radke in Brian Battle. who will talk shit about, I'm not losing to no Canadian motherfucker, or any of that shit. And you've got proper Mike Malott, fucking Canadian Michael Chandler over here. Tell me that would not be a banger. Tell me that is not straight heat. Listen, that shit would be a phenomenal striking matchup. If it goes to the ground, it will be phenomenal there as well. Both guys are great submission artists. Both guys are great fucking strikers. They're great pressure strikers, honestly. Sorry, no, Brian Battle's a great pressure striker. And Mike Malott is this more like precision, kickboxy sort of striker. It would be a perfect matchup there. It would be absolutely insane. We need that fight as like another prelim closer on a pay-per-view, in my opinion. Or if it's a weaker pay-per-view, maybe like a main card opener. But anyways, for the next fight, I'm going to be matchmaking both the fighters because people can't decide who won or lost. One clearly won, and it was fucking Ion Cutelaba. But either way, we'll start with Modestas Bukauskas. Modestas Bukauskas, he had a tough fight with Ion, but it was a close fight. I will be fair to him. It was a very close fight. You cannot take that away from him. It was close but clear. You know how those fights be? Close but clear? It was that sort of fight. But either way, I think Modestas Bukauskas has earned a lower level ranked guy. And I think that lower level ranked guy should be Atomic Alonzo Menifield. Tell me this is not straight heat. We are talking about this very good, dangerous kickboxer who's very patient and very technical versus this muscly former football player who just comes out to fucking brawl in Alonzo Menifield. If Modestas Bukauskas wins this, he is getting ranked likely. I think it'd be an absolutely great matchup. I think this would be excellent, and I think Modestas Bukauskas would win it, because if you look at Alonzo Menifield, I think he fucking lost to Julius Juicebox Walker, who is a 6-0 guy making his debut on short notice, and he lost to him, in my opinion. So I think Modestas Bukauskas would fucking destroy Alonzo Menifield. It'd be an excellent fight. I love that fight as an idea. Now, for the real winner of that matchup, the clear winner, the guy who got absolutely fucking robbed, Ion Cutelaba, we need to give him a ranked guy. We need to. And in my opinion, the perfect ranked guy for Ion Cutelaba, the guy who would give him an absolute fight of the night banger, is fucking Bogdan Sarničović Guskov. Tell me this would not be the perfect brawl fest. These are two durable muscle hamsters just brawling it out. They don't have much technique. They just go for it, and they try to outgrit you and out physicality you and outpower you and out marauder you. This would be a fucking 1300s Viking matchup we're talking about here. I forget if the Vikings were in the 1300s, which I shouldn't because history is my strong suit. But anyways, this would be an absolute fucking Viking berserker versus Viking berserker versus absolutely cracked up gorilla type of matchup. I think this would be excellent. I think Bogdan Guskov could win this, but I'd pick Ion Cutelaba because if you look at Guskov, he got held down by Billy Alicana. I think Ion Cutelaba would take down Guskov and sub him, which sucks. I love both guys. They're both some of my favorite fighters, really, in that division. But, yeah, I think Ion takes Guskov down, fucking subs him. It'd be a great fight either way. Anyways, for the winner of the prelim opener, Navajo Sterling. This kid, he's a prospect. I don't think he won that fight with Ivan Erslan. I think if you look at verdict, the Kiwis swayed that heavily for Navajo there. He's an ugly motherfucker. Looks like a big Kai Car of France. He fucking pisses me off with his face and his ugly ass haircut. Looks like he got a shitty ass fucking hair transplant. But either way, as I said, I think Ivan Erslan won that fight. I do think Navajo Sterling, he came in off the Contender Series as a very hype prospect, and he's lost a good portion of that from the two Kotokos fight. And I think from this fight, any hardcore who watched this fight sees, oh shit, Navajo Sterling lost those first 2 rounds, and they robbed it for him because he's in a Commonwealth country like New Zealand, like Australia, like Canada. Those countries have a bond. That's what all these robberies have in common. They're either Canadian, Australian, or fucking New Zealand. You know what I mean? They're all Commonwealth countries here, mainly. So, I really do think that Navajo Sterling did not win that fight. I think he got pieced up for the first 2 rounds. He got outstruck. And name me one significant strike he landed in that second round that the judges all gave him. Name me one. He had 2 takedowns. Didn't do anything with those takedowns. He was getting pieced up on the feet with those strikes and shit. By the way, he got headshot dead, bro. He got headshot dead. Just without the dead part. Either way, Navajo Sterling, I think he should fight another prospect who did get semi-derailed but is still huge. He has a national following like Navajo Sterling. He's a very powerful and entertaining striker like Navajo Sterling. I think Navajo Sterling should fight Ibo Aslan. Tell me that is not a beautiful fight. You've got this pressure power boxer who's really just a leveled up Ivan Erslan. Just this absolute fucking marauding brawler versus Navajo Sterling, who's this sort of rangy point kickboxer, who's got mean power, but he's careful, he's rangy, he's smart with it, he's trying to out-technique you here. Tell me that would not be a great fight, a beautiful striking matchup, 2 complete opposite styles, guaranteed KO in my opinion. Fuck yeah, book that fight, 100%. On that Perth card, in my opinion. Do it. Just do it. Now, for the early prelim early prelim closer. Fuck. My fault. But yeah, no, for the early prelim closer, we got Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. That was a beautiful fight. Beautiful finish by Marc-Andre Barriault. I think the UFC is going to use him to build up another prospect. I think they're going to give him to someone like a Michel Pereira or one of those guys, maybe a Bruno Ferreira, because they're like, oh, Marc-Andre's coming off a great KO. Well, he's a bum still, so let's give him to this good guy. That's what they're doing with Brundage. Brundage beats Julian Marquez, puts him out cold. So what do? They give him to that Abdul Malik kid, Mansour Abdul Malik, to build him up because they're like, oh, Cody Brundage is coming off this huge brawl KO. So let's give him this up-and-coming prospect because we know Cody Brundage won't be anything. But if this prospect can beat him, they'll get a huge highlight reel off a guy coming off a highlight reel KO. It'll be huge, right? That's what they're going to do with him. That's what they're going to do with Marc-Andre Barriault. And I think the perfect fight for Marc-Andre Barriault is versus Nursultan Ruziboyev. He is booked this weekend on a main card against Dustin Stolfus, which is the guy who KO'd Marc-Andre out cold. I think if Nursultan Ruziboyev wins that fight, or even if he loses that fight, give him Marc-Andre Barriault. Guaranteed finish in that matchup. You've got the 6'6" middleweight versus a brawler. You've got the 6'6" not point striker. The 6'6" accurate kickboxer with killer powder middleweight versus this brawler who just comes at you, he thuds at you, he's just slinging for the fences, trudging you down. In Marc-Andre Barriault, that'd be a beautiful fucking fight. Now, for the next fight on the prelims, we got Daniel Santos. And I think Daniel Santos showed he's pretty good. I think he should stay at 145. It seems to be his division. I think he'll be injured less, which is important as fuck. Sorry, I'm getting so flustered. I'm not used to screaming this much. By the way, yeah, I think it'd be a huge thing for him to stay at this division. And I really think he should. And who do I think Daniel Santos should fight next? He's still a bit low level, but I think he should fight someone coming off a huge KO in Timmy Kwamba, a guy who was having that competitive fight and then hit that beautiful fucking flying knee over El Shadow Negro or Ronaldo Romero. I forget Roberto Romero. Yeah. Twilight Timmy Kwamba versus Daniel Santos. Should be a beautiful matchup. Should be a banger, in my opinion. You gotta book that shit, man. You gotta book that shit. It's like one of those fights that you're like, oh, I know both these guys. This should be an alright fight for like an early prelim here. It should be an interesting one. I like that. We all like those kind of fights. Anyways, for the prelim opener, the early prelim opener, we got Bekzat Elmakhan, and I think they should put him against another tough prospect who just got derailed in Rinya Nakamura. Tell me Bekzat Elmakhan versus Rinya Nakamura would not be fireworks. That would be a beautiful, beautiful fucking matchup. Rinya Nakamura, he's fucking 30 years old, and Bekzat Elmakhan, yeah, he only beat Brad Katona, but he finished Brad Katona. Nobody has ever done that, and to finish him by KO is highly, highly impressive. In less than a minute, out cold? Are you fucking kidding me? Give this kid a shot up the rankings heavily. So give him Rinya Nakamura. Rinya, great wrestling. He can test Bekzat's wrestling very well. And on the feet, he's dangerous. But he can be knocked down as shown by the Muin Gafirov fight. Or was it Muhammad Naimov? I forget. They both look really weird and really ugly either way. But yeah, book that fight. It'd be a guaranteed banger. Book it on like a fight night main card, in my opinion. Main card opener for like a stacked fight night. Perfect matchup. Perfect fucking matchup, in my opinion. Let's go for that. Anyways, thank y'all for fucking watching. Make sure to like, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. Hell yeah, we got JDM as champ. Hell yeah. Sorry I couldn't release an instant reaction last night. I had it done. But I was screen recording it on CapCut, never using CapCut again. I couldn't export jack shit. I was just like, oh, fucking DaVinci Resolve won't let me screen record shit. It only lets me edit. Well, I guess I'll try CapCut again. Did not work. But either way, thanks for watching, y'all. Hell yeah. Have a nice day. Have a happy Mother's Day for sure. But yeah, great fights last night. Great matchups to make, in my opinion. Make sure to like, subscribe. Y'all know the deal. Thanks for watching.